Hi everyone, my name is Owen Fox and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about tips for dealing with triggers. There are two forms of triggers in a relationship. Relationships can be either broken or even potentially made by understanding triggers. So in this video I want to talk about two different types of ways to understand triggers and a variety of tips on how easy to apply, simple tips on how to avoid arguments and potentially make up and to soften out a possible triggering situation, okay? Very practical and down to earth. So, there are two types of triggers. One is in a relationship when someone is triggered, so that's number one. The second type of trigger is when you are triggered to someone else being triggered first. So it's you start it or you continue it. It's when there's an emotional charge and somebody reacts to something with a strong emotional charge, a particular belief or a particular arising of emotion based on the past event. And then there is also if somebody else is reacting or charged first, then you get very reactive and charged to their initial reaction and charge. So neither of them are necessarily like in the past. To be honest, in my life I'm the person who usually gets reactive or charged or triggered to someone else who starts it, and I used to be righteous, thinking that like I'm sort of like better or righteous in the fact that I didn't start it. But looking back into my previous relationships, I can definitely see that I definitely made things much worse and I continued things in a more negative fashion, and that was based on a few different things. Things such as not having enough relationship experience or communicational experience, practice, a lack of knowledge and wisdom and understanding myself and understanding them. So it's definitely basically missing wisdom, knowledge and experience would be the simple way of describing it. So in this video right now I'm going to share ways in which it's very helpful to diffuse and soothe and help a situation of charged strong emotions, okay? So when someone else becomes suddenly reactive or triggered or heavy or critical or whatever the case may be, triggered emotionally, what usually happens is people talk very fast and they don't even look at each other in the eye. And yeah, they're the two main things that I've noticed, really, to be honest. People don't also breathe much. They don't breathe deep. Instead, they have shallow breathing. So the first thing to do is to try and become very present and look at the person in the eye and make eye contact. Now, it doesn't have to be freaky or scary or weird eye contact. Staring them out of it, following them around the place. Not that type of eye contact, but just like be more present in your heart and mindful or heartful, and take a moment to look at them and observe them and to tune into compassion and understand that they're hurting or in pain at the moment, even if our automatic reaction is to think that they're wrong or bad or not good enough in some way, because we usually will automatically tend to react to judge them, to be honest. So that's basically what they're doing to us typically, but our job is not to do the same to them, which obviously creates massive arguments or disconnections or both. So that's the first thing, eye contact and tuning into your heart. The second thing is to talk slowly. Observe, become very observant how the fact that they're not looking at you in the eye, they're sort of like talking into the distance, they're just lost in their... We get lost too, so observe your own being lost too. It's not all about like looking at them, but observe the situation through a more like spacious or heartfelt way. Here's a beautiful dog. Hi Alison. Hi Alison, have a nice day. Thanks a lot. Alison's poop. Just kidding, not Alison's, some other doggy. So observe and then shift to talking slowly and more quietly. If you can make eye contact a bit more than usual, if you can talk slower, much slower than the typical fast paced, and if you can talk quieter, that is massive energetical shift It's a massive spaciousness of the heart. It's a huge quietnesser of the mind. This is a very, very, very powerful to do. It really is. In my life it works tremendously good. And the other tip, the third tip I want to say to everyone is, if there's very charged emotions, it's very handy just to go away and get some space to ourselves, each other, for a few minutes, or a few hours, potentially an hour or two, or half an hour, whatever the case may be, or even a day, whatever your life situation is, or living situation. The beautiful Irish Sea. So yeah, this will really work wonders in your life, and this worked wonders in my life. So the other thing to do is, instead of blaming someone on your emotions, saying it's your fault that I feel this way, learn to take responsibility, and think back to when you first felt these emotions. Not the same situation. For example, let's say you feel really upset and disheartened and frustrated. Think of when you first felt these feelings. So instead of saying, you make me feel this way, go off by yourself for a little while and ask yourself, when did I first feel these feelings of possibly, let's say, being dismissed or treated in a way we felt sad or not cared for or abandoned, whatever the cases may be, okay? And think of your past or relationships or your childhood, if you can remember, and feel and remember those feelings, and know that this person has triggered these feelings within you for healing. So it's not that they're like a bad person or a perpetrator, and you're not like the victim identity story of this situation. You're more receiving the gift that this person is giving you about self-awareness about yourself, which is wisdom, depth, heart power. They're teaching you to be heart powerful, self-aware, healed, open and spaciousness in your energy, because you let go of the blocks that were lodged in you from past traumas. And when you become aware and you tune into your heart and you tune into love, then you're an alchemist who can transform your life and relationships, and all your energetic systems start becoming more free-flowing, and because there's less energy blocks or stagnations. So this is what energy healers help you to do a little bit. But the real work is your daily life. The daily bread is your daily challenges and your biggest challenges in your life right now. Could be work, could be your parent, could be your son or daughter. Often, very, 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 very often, it's your partner. Sometimes it's like a health challenge. It could be a loss of a loved one or a loss of something in your life also. So this is your challenge, everyone. This is your growth. This is your expansion. So there's a guy called something Brown. I forget his name exactly, but he does something called the presence process, I believe it's called, and it's really good. It's like what I was describing in this video. So then you can say to your partner or your friend or your person who triggered you later, you know what, when you said this or when this happened, I felt this way, and it made me remember of how I felt like this before. And so rather than blaming and saying it's all your fault, you did this to me and I feel terrible because of you, you can say, when this happened, I felt this way, and I'm glad that this has been brought to my awareness. And then there's two things you can do to work it out for the future. You can say, while I'm in the process of feeling these feelings and integrating and learning to be more responsible for how I feel, and less reactive and less charged and less judgmental, while I'm in the process of healing and expanding, this is my job. This is what I'm working with. I'm working on it. There's only so much I can do at such a pace. Your job, the second thing that your partner or your triggerer can do, you can ask them, while I'm doing this, maybe it'd be nice, or what's your idea that we could do to work together? So maybe you could say things in a different way to me. You could work on your reactions and triggers and the way you express yourself when you're charged. So you could say to them, maybe you could talk in a slightly different way, maybe this way a little bit, so it makes it less triggering for me, and the both of us can do our healing in a less conflicting way, and a more balanced and a more harmonious way. So you're seeking the middle ground just a little bit more. So it's neither hectic wild or but it's just you're still doing it, but you're just going slower and less intense, so you get on better, and it's less drama or conflict, less separation and disconnection. So that's my bike there. I'm gonna continue on my way. I did some of the cliff walk. So this is like extremely powerful. This is some of the best tips that I've learned in like many relationships and many triggering moments and reactions and charged moments in my life. So like, yeah. So yeah, I hope this video helped everybody. The most obvious thing you can do is like don't talk. You can't argue if you're not talking, but that this, when you are becoming more of a master or an alchemist, this is like actually participating. And then you say some things, say meaningful things. Again, talking quieter, making eye contact, and talking slower for definite. And then take responsibility, possibly take space if needed, and then responsibility for our emotions. Remember where we first felt the feelings and emotions, and then express to the person at a good time, where you're not blaming or criticizing them, or attacking them or judging them, and just talk for the benefit of everyone, and everyone's benefit, everybody. It's like healing and wholesome love for everybody. I know it's easier said than done, everybody, and you might get this video mentally, but it's going to take a lot of practice to actually apply it and integrate it and embody it experientially, truly and utterly, literally, really, groundedly in your actual real life. So I recommend checking out this video again, and checking out, I think, is it not Dan Brown? I forget the name. Don Brown, I know. Check out the presence process. Check out non-violent communication. I'll leave links for these below so you can empower you, other people who I've learned from. Yeah, that's pretty much the main thing that I really generally recommend at the moment for I put also my communication and relationships or empowered relationships playlist below, which is definitely very helpful. It's worth having a look to. So yeah, everyone have a lovely day, and thanks for watching. And if you like this video, give it a like. It really goes a long way for the channel, and I appreciate it more than you know. So thanks a lot for doing that. Okay, take care and lots of love. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for watching. I really enjoyed making it. Life is a beautiful gift, and everything happens in divine purpose and perfection and timing. All the people, all the things, all the events, all of the gains and all of the losses, it all happens for a reason. So we don't have to judge events as being wrong or bad or shouldn't be. They all should be, everyone. I know it's terrible like to think about that almost in the moment, but from a spiritual, grand, universal, cosmic, mistakes don't happen. But it's crazy, wild experience of the soul. I'll tell you that here, everyone. It's like a wild trip of the spirit here as a human. I don't deny that. Take care and lots of love, everyone. Appreciate you watching.